Hello, my little smarty pantses. Today we're going to start learning about insects on this video, and we're specifically going to talk about flies and ants during our time because they're the most common insects to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to read this book. Flies Are Fascinating. This is an informational book, non-fiction, because it's going to give us all kinds of facts about flies. Okay? Then after we're done reading the book, we're going to label the ant and the fly different parts. And those are the parts that you're going to need to know. So some of the vocabulary words that you're going to need to know are abdomen, thorax, antennae, head, I'm sure you know that one already, and prey and predators. Now, I think you already know, most of you know what predators are, but we'll discuss a little bit more about prey and predators as we go along that are specific to insects in their habitats. So let's read the story and get on with this here. Okay, flies are fascinating. Most adult insects can fly, most of them. Now, of course, all ants can't fly. Butterflies have 4 beautiful colored wings. Dragonflies have 4 delicate gauzy wings. But true flies have only 2 wings. There are more than 85,000 different kinds of true flies. Houseflies, deer flies, mosquitoes, horseflies, black flies, and gnats are true flies. A fly folds its wings on top of its body. Look closely at this fly's head. It has huge eyes. They are made up of tiny lenses and are called compound eyes. Okay, I'm going to get it a little closer so you can see. There's lots of lenses in there, not just one like we have. Cool, looks like he's wearing some really cool sunglasses, doesn't it? Some flies, like this housefly, are dark colored. Some are brightly colored with metallic shine. We call these flies blue bottles or green bottles. Now, I'm sure if you've been outside or at a picnic, you've seen the ones that have kind of blue or green on them. But this one here is just a plain old housefly. We have lots of those around here. Some flies are large, like this crane fly, and some flies are tiny, like this fruit fly at the right. Okay. So you can see, and I'm sure you've seen fruit flies hanging around your fruit, like in the summertime when it's getting a little too ripe, and you see all those little flies. They're very tiny, see, because this is a regular fly, and then this fruit fly, see how much smaller it is? Some harmless flies imitate other insects. The hover or syrphid fly has yellow and black stripes, so we will think it carries a sting like a bee or a wasp. Okay, this is a fly, but it's mimicking, or it sort of looks like a bee, right? And so we would leave it alone and we wouldn't bother, and so would its predators because they think it's a bee. Flies do not sting, but many bite. Female black flies, deer flies, mosquitoes, and horseflies bite animals to suck the blood that they need for their eggs. And we also know that we're animals. Human beings are a type of animals that some of these bite. They bite people too. Male flies do not bother people. They feed only on plants. So it's only the girl flies that bite. Daddy, boy flies don't. Male. Mosquitoes are most common where there's water. Mosquito larvae hang upside down just beneath the water's surface. They breathe air through a tiny tube. Oh, cool. Look at this. Look at it. They hang upside down. That's the babies, the larvae. And later on, you'll learn about that. If we'd have had more time, we'd have done a butterfly thing so you could see that butterflies start out as little tiny eggs, and all insects start out little tiny eggs. And then they grow into a caterpillar-y like thing, a larva, and then they start to change into a adult insect, that's called metamorphosis. There's a big word for you. Fish and other underwater animals eat millions of these mosquito larvae. That's good. There are fewer mosquitoes left to bother us. So this fish is a predator, right? It's a predator. It's going after its prey, the mosquito larvae. Adult flies are often eaten by spiders, other insects, birds, and animals. Who would imagine that flies are such tasty food for so many creatures? So there's some more predators for you for insects, spiders, other insects, birds, and animals. And I'm going to tell you, Ribbit the frog likes insects too, and some snakes. So there's a lot of predators you're going to need to know too for the test. So try to remember that. So let's get to our labeling here. We're going to first talk about every insect has 3 parts. I'm going to teach you a song, and we're going to label it. Every insect has 3 parts, has 3 parts, has 3 parts. Every insect has 3 parts. I can name them all. Head and thorax, abdomen, abdomen, abdomen. Head and thorax, abdomen. An insect has 3 parts. Let's label those 3 parts. This part here, you can see there's a line that goes up, and you're going to have, you should have your 2 pictures already printed out or drawn out with this line going up from the head, and we're going to write the word head. Ready? H E A D. Okay. It's kind of hard to see that, isn't it? Okay. So here's what I did. This line coming up from the head, and there's a flat part for you to write. H E A D. Okay. So let's do the next one. Head and thorax. So that would be the middle part of his body. Can you see how he has 3 parts in his body? So that would be the middle part. That's the thorax. Thorax. So we have TH because that says right? Then we have the word or, O-R, and then we have a and a x. Thorax. T H O R A X. Now, if you're having trouble, you can always pause the video and then go ahead and write it, right? Okay. So the last part is the longest one. It's called the abdomen. So A, B, ab, B, B, D, D. Now be really careful here because many of you are still mixing up your lowercase b's and d's. Make sure you're making them the correct way or you're going to have the abdomen. And we want abdomen. Okay, ab, A-B, do, D, O, And then the word men, M-E-N. Okay, abdomen, right here. Abdomen. Okay, so if you're still writing, you can pause the video and go ahead and finish writing it, and then start us back up. Okay. All right. So every insect has three parts. I can name them all: head and thorax, abdomen, abdomen, abdomen. Head and thorax, abdomen. An insect has three parts. Okay. So the next thing is we're going to talk about this part. Every insect has 6 legs, has 6 legs, has 6 legs. Every insect has 6 legs. Count them all to see. 1, 2, 3. And then if you flip them over, 4, 5, 6. Let's count the fly's legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how you can tell if it's an insect or something else. So would a spider be an insect? Because it's got how many legs? Right, 8. All right, so we need to label the leg. And so you can see right here, there's a line coming off of this leg. And I think you can figure out how to spell leg. Oh, egg, egg, egg. Okay, and so the last thing we're going to talk about is this part right here. And that part of the song goes, every insect has antennae, has antennae, has antennae. Every insect has antennae. That is how they smell. So they use their antennae here. They don't have noses. They use their antennae. Ant. It's like ant. And then and it's now this one has 2 ends and then a funny ending. 2 ends and an A and an E. Now, if you were talking about one of his feelers, that would be an antenna. But we're talking they have 2, so we're gonna call it antennae. Okay? So we've got that is how they smell. And then the last part is going to go along with our fly, because flies have an extra thing on it that ants don't have. Well, on this fly, it's going to have 2 things. Then the last part of the song goes, insects usually have some wings, have some wings, have some wings. Insects usually have some wings. That is how they fly. So let's do wings. Whoa, 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 whoa. I hope you said W. And then we need the ing. Do you remember how to spell ing? I-N-G. And then they have 2, so we have to say wings. So here it is. They're wings. There's a line coming off of there. And I think you can fill this one in for yourself. You know that's one of his 6 legs. And now we have this one here that I just want you to label, because remember the flies have those great big ones? This is an I. And this word I is meaning this part of you, the thing you see with, is spelled kind of funny. E-Y-E. Okay? So now you should have your ant labeled, and you're going to need to know the 3 parts: head and thorax, abdomen. Okay? You're going to have to know antennae and leg, because you're going to print off another one of these, and this is what you're going to take your test on, or part of your assessment. I may or may not do a fly one. We will see how it goes. You would have to label the wings. Okay? But for sure, you're going to have the ant, and you're going to have to label it. Those are some of the things you're going to need to know. Okay? Since you heard how I sing the song, I'm going to upload this so that you can have a copy of the song. And maybe that will help you study for your test because it gives a lot of the answers in there. Okay, so that's our book on flies are fascinating. Okay, now there might be a book coming later about ants, but for sure we're going to read some other books about insects, at least one more that I know of. Okay, so watch for that to come up, and I'll talk to you next time. May the angels keep you safe. Bye.